The Indian Air Force was to get 16 state-of-the-art Tejas Mark 1A fighter jets this year, but now they'll get only half of that number. What is the hold-up? Why is there a question mark over this state-of-the-art fighter jet made by HAL and HAL's ability to deliver, to meet the timely delivery of these jets? My colleague Deepak Badana spoke to former IAF Chief RKS Bhadauria to find out. Let's listen in to his conversation with the former Chief of the Air Force.
Thank you so much for joining us today, sir. It's truly a pleasure to meet a veteran of Indian Armed Forces and somebody who's been so close to the development of the Indian Air Force. If I could ask you, how would you describe the status of the Tejas program as it is today?
Tejas program is doing well as far as the initial order of 40 is concerned. That has been delivered and 2 squadrons are operational. The trainers were made last and that is in the process of final delivery. The Mark 1A was the next order for 83 Mark 1As. That started to roll out. So that production line has started. This year we should have 8, if I remember the figure right, deliveries to Indian Air Force. And in terms of the changes that are being incorporated for Mark 1A, my last interaction in HAL and ADA, they were of the opinion that it's going well. So overall, I think Mark 1A would bring in some additional capabilities into the Indian Air Force. I would say the program is doing well, especially now that another 97 have been ordered in the process of finalization and order. That's a great step. So overall, 240 odd aircraft of this capability. That's a great order for the industry to really get set well in this production. And I'm sure now HAL will put all its energy in stepping up the rate of production. That is a critical area.
This year, I believe the initial expectation was for around 12 Tejas aircraft. Only 8 have come. And this is after, I think, the IAF put its foot down. How do you describe the delays that have happened? What has been the compulsion that has led to this delay?
No, delays, the rate of production has been an issue on LCA. The rate at which we were expecting it to rise, and Air Force has been insisting on increasing from 8 to 12, and for especially for Mark 1A, we have asked for 16. We have been in touch with HAL that this needs to really go up. I think the changes that HAL has done now to involve private sector more and more and to give away many of the tasks to private sector, that will show effect. So the rate of production has not come up to the level we wanted, but in due course it will come up. So this is an area that needs to be sorted, and I think the critical area there is to involve the private sector more and more. That wasn't happening to the level required, which is started to happen now. It should increase further, but at least it has started in much more than earlier.
So one critical concern is the engine. I mean, there has been a delay in the delivery of those G404 engines. Do you think that has impacted the delivery of Tejas?
Oh yes, this I think recently this has been in the news, and this is really a matter of concern in the industry, in HAL, and in the defense circles as such. For the Air Force, it's a great concern. I think we really need to sort this delay out quickly. Given the special nature of relationship developing between India and US, I'm sure everybody is working towards early resolution of whatever these delays are. I think most of it would be really supply chain delays. We have to be cognizant of whatever has happened post-COVID. The entire aviation industry, the supply chains have got affected. So some could be those delays. There could be some elements of other delay. I'm sure everybody concerned is working towards it. But this is an area, I think, from industry perspective, it should get resolved soon.
I think yes, sir. I mean, it is critical. India in the future is also planning to co-produce the G414 engine, which will go in, I believe, the Tejas Mark II, or rather the AMCA, if I'm correct. So do you think this delay will impact the future course of actions here?
No, the two are unconnected. For Mark 1A, 404 contract which HAL has got into with GE, that needs to come on time. There are elements of delay there. For Mark 414, which will go on to Mark II, LCA Mark II, it will go on to TED-BF and it will go on to AMCA, the initial squadrons. Thereafter, AMCA will come up with the 5th generation engine. Okay, so that is where the TOT deal was agreed. if you remember this TOT agreement between HAL
Yes,
and
of course.
GE, and that I think is progressing. Whether I think the proposal is already there from US side, I haven't heard of a delay in that area as such. Although that timeline is a little more. Once the proposal comes, I'm sure some negotiation will take some time and the contract signatures. So that should be progressing well.
So your stint as the Air Chief Marshal was, instrumental. People have credited you with actually expediting the Tejas program. What do you think were the biggest challenges when it came to overcoming, such a technical challenge? I mean, not every country can even envisage building a fighter aircraft, and this is something India wanted to do.
I had the benefit of being involved in the LCA project and have flown it as a test pilot. I was part of the team, so I knew this project inside out. That was part of the reason that I had a lot of faith in this aircraft, and when things were in my control, I ensured that everything that can be done for speeding up operationalization of this con, getting on to further orders. We have to think long term. We have to really look at the industry perspective. Large orders are very important. Unless you put money in the industry, you can't grow. You cannot set up the right manufacturing base. And with 40 aircraft, you cannot go to a very high production rate. So these are all the ground realities. And it's not only me. It's a whole lot of people who I think were behind doing the right thing for Tejas. And we are where we are because of that. So from Air Force perspective, I think we have put a full weight behind LCA. There is no doubt. And not only LCA, for our fighter production and design and development, the future programs into our Indian industry. So this leap of faith is, I think, one of the biggest changes that Air Force has brought in, technologically and capability wise in our industry.
So we at News 9, we followed this program with great interest. In our interactions with a number of veterans, including former test pilots, they've said something, very special about the Tejas aircraft. One of these gentlemen described it as a pilot's aircraft, which I would imagine would be, a delight to fly. How would you describe the Tejas today, and what roles do you see it fulfilling for the IAF in the long term?
Oh, I'll say the same. It's a pilot's aircraft. They are all right. Everybody is correct. And as far as I think you are asking, how does it fulfill IAF's role? IAF's capability in the task that has been it has been inducted for, it's doing wonderfully well. It's a very capable platform for its size and for the role it fulfills, be it in air-to-air in terms of combat, or be it for air-to-ground weapons. And we have plans of integrating a very good air-to-air weapon and many more advanced air-to-ground weapons. So in its role, it would really deliver for the Air Force. As the numbers grow and as our capability grows, let's say Mark 1 is more capable, it will have ISA radar, it will have air-to-air refueling, it will have other features in terms of electronic warfare, in terms of operational data link, etc. Therefore, the capability will keep growing. Mark 2 of course will bring in even higher capability. So the capability map across the LCA projects from Mark 1 to 1A to 2 is good. And it is indigenous. It is a very important capability to induct into the Air Force, which is indigenous. The maintenance becomes easier, the upgrades become easier, the integration of a new weapon. We can develop sensor and weapon, but if we were to integrate on a aircraft that is imported, the timelines are 3 to 4 times, the costs are 3 to 4 times. So that is the biggest benefit, apart from the other benefits that the indigenous project gets to the service.
I think one critical benefit out of any such project is the know-how that the scientists and the scientific community develops. Would you agree that building the Tejas actually builds the platforms that will help us make better, much better aircraft in the future that will actually serve India in the long term?
Absolutely, absolutely. Any fighter aircraft, the technologies are high-end. When Tejas came up, there were 3-4 very critical technology developments. Let's say composites, fly-by-wire, automated systems. So these are very, your data fusions. These are good technologies to develop on and very successful. Many people don't realize that the kind of fly-by-wire, digital fly-by-wire that has been developed indigenously in Tejas is absolutely world-class. Absolutely. you know, we have done 20 years plus of operations, not a single accident loss because of fly-by-wire issues. It's a huge achievement. Overall, the development technologically, I think it's a huge step. Similarly, it sets a base in the country, in the military industrial complex, aviation field, from where you can really grow. So overall, technologically, I think it's a very, very big step, much more than people realize.